Let's be clear. This isn't about learning tactics. This is about decoding the hidden forces, the power physics, that decide who really wins a deal. And today, we're taking apart one of the most powerful and misunderstood forces of all, empathy.
Think about that for a second. We're all taught that feeling understood builds trust. It's a good thing, right? Well, in a high-stakes deal, that feeling can also be the very thing that leads to your defeat.
So the first signal we're mapping today, we call it the empathy trap. And no, this isn't about making a genuine connection. It's about a mechanism, a quiet, incredibly effective mechanism that shifts power from the person who feels understood to the person doing the understanding.
To most people, empathy feels like a good thing. It signals kindness, alignment. But to an elite negotiator, it's something else entirely. It's a cold, analytical instrument. It's a way to gather intelligence, not build a friendship. And you have to understand that distinction to see the game being played.
So how does this actually work? Well, the pattern is shockingly consistent. Whether you're looking at a hostage situation, a boardroom deal, or a diplomatic talk, it's a psychological rule. Feeling safe makes you less careful. It systematically lowers your defenses. You know that feeling when someone just gets it? They reflect your problems, your fears, your side of the story, and you feel this wave of relief? That's emotional safety. But in that exact moment, your critical thinking gets softer, your guard drops, and you become much more open to sharing information, and here's the key, to being influenced. And here's where perception and reality split. On the left, you see what it feels like, a real connection, a sense of trust. But on the right, you see what it actually unlocks for the strategist. More information from you, less resistance from you, and the ability to push their own agenda while making you feel like you're on the same team. Okay, so let's see how this becomes a strategy. This is where just listening turns into an active game of mapping. The information that's being gathered, it isn't just being filed away, it's being prepared for use. The analyst on the other side of the table isn't listening to feel for you. They're conducting reconnaissance. Every word you say is a data point that helps them build a map of your mind, what you care about most, what you're afraid of losing, and exactly where your breaking point is. It's pure intelligence gathering, disguised as rapport. And this whole process is systematic. It's not random. Step 1, create that feeling of safety. Step 2, use that safety to pull out the critical data, your priorities, your fears. Step 3, use that exact data to build an offer that pushes on your weakest points. And the final step, this is the master stroke. You are guided to make concessions that feel like they were your idea all along, leading to a totally unbalanced deal. And this is so crucial. The point of empathy here isn't to change your mind. It's to find the exact spot on their map of you where a little bit of pressure will get a huge result. It's about finding the structural weaknesses in your position. Which, of course, brings us to the cost. For the person who doesn't see this game, the result is always the same. You give away value and you never even feel like you lost. The concession feels like your own choice. This is the telltale sign of a perfectly executed empathy trap. There was no obvious threat, no one forced you. The target honestly believes they made a smart, independent decision. They might even go on to defend the bad deal later, because admitting anything else would mean admitting they were played. And this chart shows you the result. The deal feels fair, like a 50-50 split, because the emotional ride was smooth. It felt like you were understood. But when you look at the cold, hard terms, the actual value split is something like 70-30. That gap right there between how it feels and what it is, that's where all the leverage lives. Just remember this. When someone forces you to do something, you push back. It's natural. But when an idea feels like it was yours to begin with, you'll fight for it. The best players don't impose their will. They create the perfect conditions for you to impose it on yourself. So what's the edge? How do you defend against this? It's not about learning a new trick. It's about adopting a totally different frame of mind. You have to learn to think like an analyst. Just look at this contrast. The novice thinks the goal is to build a relationship. They're aiming for goodwill. They measure success by how much trust they feel. The analyst, though, is playing a different game. Their focus is on gathering data. Their goal is to find leverage, and their measure of success is the quality of the information they got. Two people, same conversation, completely different objectives. These are the operating principles for that mindset. Just because someone gets how you feel, that doesn't mean they want what you want.
Rapport isn't the goal, it's just the vehicle for getting information. Listening is for data acquisition. And, this is the big one, showing you that they understand you is not the same thing as agreeing with you. It is a tool.
And that brings us to the end. The point of all this isn't to give you the answers. It's to give you much better questions to ask about your own deals, the ones you've done and the ones you're about to do. First, where is that line? At what point does using understanding as a strategy cross over into just pure manipulation? It's not just a strategic question, right? It's an ethical one. Second, and this one's a paradox, if feeling understood makes you vulnerable, how do you protect yourself without just shutting down? How can you stay open enough to actually make a deal, but guarded enough so you're not taken advantage of? And finally, maybe the biggest question of all, in a game where, by definition, both sides have competing interests, can real, genuine, non-strategic empathy even exist? Or is it always, on some level, just another tool of influence? Think about it.